Hello, you're welcome to another broadcast. It's School of Ministry with Mfon, Udoema. Today I'll be talking on money mistakes ministers make in ministry. Money mistakes ministers make in ministry. In Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 1 from the Good News Translation, it says, "Dead flies will cause even a bottle of perfume to stink." Yes, a small mistake can outweigh much wisdom and honor. A small mistake can destroy a ministry. A small mistake can finish a minister. You know, money plays a vital and a pivotal role in ministry. We cannot stress the importance of money in ministry. Any minister that says money does not make ministry to make impact is a joker. A man once said, a wise man, a great preacher in Nigeria once said, that money is the wings on which the gospel flies. However, in trying to make money and all that, a lot of ministers have made several mistakes that have damaged their ministries and maybe their persons. Let's discuss a few as our time will permit. Number one is not separating personal finances from ministry finances. Now, a lot of ministers make the problem of making the ministry money their personal money. They take the money at will, no form of accountability, and so you cannot separate the minister's money from the ministry's money. No, there should be a clear line of demarcation from the minister's money and the ministry's money. There are two separate entities. In the entity concept in accounting and in law, the minister is a separate entity from the ministry. So it is a very dangerous thing, because if a minister should do this, he will experience all kinds of issues. His members will not trust him. There will be decrease in finances. People will stop giving to that ministry because they feel pastor will just use it carelessly. Number two money mistake ministers make in ministry is operating the ministry without financial policies. Financial policies are guidelines that will help the ministry in how to run. For instance, the policy will state who receives money, how money is spent, how money is used, how money is saved, how money is generated. When you don't have a policy, you can just do anyhow with the money. But when there is a policy, for instance, if there is a policy that you cannot exceed 5% in welfare, it guides the ministry. If there's a policy that 10% that comes into the ministry will go for tithe and 20% for salaries and allowances and maybe 15% for overheads, it helps the ministry to run in spite of the amount coming in, the run by the percentages. That becomes a policy. So it's dangerous operating without policies, because people will take advantage. For instance, in a lot of churches, mainly after a Sunday service, a lot of people go with requests and their monies are just approved carelessly, and before you know, the church has no money. Now, I did a training with the church. I spoke with the pastor and the finance team and the workers, because the pastor was always, every month the church would be in the red, generating money but always being in the red, and they were always having owing every month. When I finished that teaching, after 5 years of ministry, for the first time, when I told the pastor about policies and things to put in place, the church had over 150,000 naira after the month finished, and did it as a balance carried forward into the new month because they set policies. Number three, money mistake ministers make is handling the finances of the ministry. As a minister, you are not to handle church money. Peter said, "We will not leave the preaching of the word and prayer to serve tables." And I think one translation says, "We will not leave ministry to handle finances." So when the pastor begins to handle money, people won't trust him. You see, after church, the pastor goes to the offertory, starts counting the money, puts it in his pocket directly, and no. Let there be a mechanism. Even if the pastor needs money, there should be a process that the pastor gets the money. Number four, money mistake ministers make is introducing and recommending and endorsing investments from the pulpit. Please, the pulpit is a holy place. It's God's place of appearing to people to solve their problems. It is not in your place to start advertising, multi-level marketing, and all kinds of businesses from the pulpit, because when crisis come, you will lose the integrity you have. You will lose your ministry, because most of the things people advertise are money schemes that will not stand the test of time. And so don't do that as a minister, so that you don't kill your ministry. You lose your good name, you lose credibility, you lose the respect of your members. If the business fails, you could go to jail, all kinds of things, because of recommending investment from the pulpit. Number five is engaging in welfare indiscreetly. When you start engaging in welfare, any money that comes, anybody can, "Pastor, I'm not eating. Oh, treasurer, give her 300 naira. Pastor, no transport. Treasurer, give her 500. Pastor, my child is sick. Treasurer, give her 2,000. Before you know, your ministry will not have any money. This, like I talked about, policy will guide this. Okay, who is qualified for welfare, who is not qualified for welfare? Because most times the things we engage in the name of welfare is only promoting laziness. There are people that the church should teach how to work, how to do businesses, how to apply for jobs, and then the church can empower people once and for all instead of constant giving to people. And most of the times these stories are lies. Number 6 money mistake ministers make is spending everything. As a church, you are not supposed to spend all the money of the ministry. In Proverbs 21 verse 20, it said, there is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. You are not to spend everything that comes into the ministry. There should be savings for capital projects. In Luke 15 verse 14, after the prodigal son spent everything, it began to be one. Number 7 money mistake ministers make is giving loans to members. You are not a bank. You are not a bank. I repeat, pastor, you are not a bank. You are not a financial institution. Number 8 is guaranteeing loans. In Proverbs 17 verse 18, Contemporary English Version CEV says, it is stupid to guarantee someone else's loan. As a pastor, it's not your job to guarantee loans. If you do this, you will be liable to repay the loan should the borrower abscond. In the absence or abscondment of the borrower, you are now treated as the borrower, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. You are subject to all kinds of embarrassment and harassment. Number 9 money mistake ministers make is lack of knowledge about financial matters. A lot of pastors just entered into the ministry with zeal without knowledge. They know nothing about fundraising, savings, investment, banking, auditing, trading, business contract, stock exchange, shares. So they know budgeting, bookkeeping, accounting, bonds. They know virtually nothing. Now, as a pastor, the danger in not knowing, having financial knowledge is that you will likely be defrauded. Your ministry will be likely defrauded many times. And all the number 10 money mistake ministers make is begging. When you are a minister and you go about begging, you have lost the honor and the dignity of ministry.